We are recording. Hi, everybody. It's Trish Fritz, your concierge realtor with Howard Hanna, with another edition of 5 Things About My Favorite People. Today, I have 2 of my very favorite people. It's a double today. I have the power team of CMP Appraisals, Chris and Britt Perry. How you guys doing? Good to see your faces.
Thank you for having
us. You're more than welcome. I'm sorry?
We'll take you virtually, if not at all.
Well, you know, we take what we can get these days. It's the best we can do.
We're getting through it.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. And you guys are doing it in fine style. We'll find out more about that in a minute. So Chris and Britt, actually, just as a little bit of a background, I have 2 quick things I want to say, and then we're going to get into the questions. The first thing is that home appraisals is not either of their first career. They're both in 2nd and 3rd careers. I think you're both in 3rd careers, aren't you? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But I think they found a home in appraisals, and we're hoping they stay around for a very long time. So Chris comes to appraisals from a background. He was in the Navy. He's a veteran. Thank you for your service, Chris. Appreciate it. He was a Navy SEAL, and then after that, he was a homicide detective. So appraisals is kind of a switch up there. I think you told me once you still go into unoccupied houses, but nobody's shooting at you. Is that?
I don't need a search warrant anymore.
Yep. So, and Britt, you come from a background of elementary school teacher and a bunch of support workers. So you've got quite a varied background as well. And as you know, my husband's an elementary school teacher, so that's something that's near and dear to my heart.
One of the best. We love watching all of his videos, especially the pirate.
The pirate song is my favorite, yes.
The pirate is the best.
Absolutely. And I wanted to say one other quick thing, because I was thinking back about when we met, because it's been a couple of years now, and I know I met you, Chris, at a B&I meeting.
Yep.
And we had scheduled a one-to-one afterwards, because I was very interested in finding out more about what you do and having a connection with an appraiser, because at that time I didn't know anybody personally who was in appraisals. And I remember you told me that it was very important to you to have a connection with the people that you support, that to have shared values, a shared outlook on life. And I don't know if it was just me, but when we were sitting there talking, the only thing I was thinking is, so where have you been? Because I felt like I knew you already. I felt like I had known you forever. I was so comfortable with you from the very beginning. And turns out that we do share pretty much the same outlook on life and family and relationships and how we treat our clients and such. And so I'm really happy that we had that chance meeting, because it's made a huge difference in my business, and hopefully I've brought a little to yours as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's I can't believe it's been so long now.
I know.
Yeah.
I was so excited when I finally got to meet you, because he was saying, you got to meet Trish. You got to meet Trish. Who is Trish?
I'd be like texting you. Am I texting Trish?
I know.
Like,
yeah, and I know that he kept telling me, you got to meet Britt. You got to meet Britt. I'm like, yes, I do.
Every time I met Trish, I said.
Yeah,
well, I don't think you really exist.
Yeah, well, I was so happy when I finally got to meet you, and I was like, wait, Trish is my friend, Chris.
Yeah, John was talking about you guys today too. He's really looking forward to having a physical meeting again, you know, when all this is over and we're allowed out. So something to look forward to. But all right, so let's get on to the questions. I may or may not do these in order, and I noticed that you only have 4, so I have one of my own for the end. I'm going to save it.
Oh boy.
Okay, so let's start with the question that everybody's wanted to answer, because it's been part of our existence for the last few months, and that is, how do you do your business differently since COVID-19?
Well, we do a lot more of this. We're doing everything virtual now. You know, our business, and I'm sure everyone in the industry is kind of going through it in their own way. We're just adapting and trying to keep things moving. So
Yeah.
And we're teaching a lot of classes on Zoom too. One of our, one thing that we really like to do, and it probably goes back to our background. One thing that we realized when we started into the appraisal profession was that we really missed so much of what Chris does is behind a screen, and so much of what I do is that.
all day.
Yep.
And so, right. And we miss, you know, seeing people and talking to people. And so when we're out teaching the class, think like an appraiser or FHA check, or just doing simple Q&As with people, that has really kind of a throwback to what we did before we were in this profession. When it was me in the classroom, or, you know, Chris out in the streets, it was just connecting with people. That's what we really enjoyed the most. So we've taken that now, and with COVID, we're doing a lot more through Zoom, and we're still connecting with people in the classes. We're trying to do those at least once a week. We're trying to get on the calendar, Facebook Lives, favorite fives with Trish, things like this. It's just really enjoyable for us. And, you know, I think also, you know, we have been, gosh, we've just been Zooming a lot, all kinds of Zoom.
Yeah. So in the beginning, when this things kind of started to go more into lockdown, we had to transition in doing Zooms with agents, doing like virtual showings, because we transitioned to exterior only appraisals. So we were not only doing Zoom classes, we were Zooming with the agent inside the house who was giving me a walkthrough as I'm asking questions, or sometimes I did it with the homeowner if it was a refi. It actually worked out fine. Like it worked really, really well, actually. So yeah, you know, we're just doing whatever we can do to find a way, like, again, like I said, with all the different industries in real estate right now, just finding a way to adapt and overcome. And
we've been really grateful to everybody in the industry here, because I just feel like our agents in particular, they are so good at using technology. And we have some amazing, some of the things that the photographers are putting together with these virtual showings. I mean, I feel like that's going to be something that is absolutely going to be sticking around.
I'm going to be using it. I have one, and they're amazing.
Incredible.
The demand, even though the demand right now, it seems, for the exterior only appraisals is kind of waning a bit, like we're kind of going back to more traditional appraisals now. We still ask agents now to send us virtual walkthroughs that they do, even if it's just them, you know, filming themselves for 20 minutes walking through the house, because we had a few agents that just took it upon themselves to do that during the COVID thing, and it was hugely helpful. So been looking at it as kind of just a way to do our business, our job differently, and also using this as a time to get really efficient. And really use this time as, like, kind of seems like we're all in kind of in timeout, you know.
Thinking about what we've done.
So we've been using it in a positive way for our business, you know, to try to get more efficient and try to stay connected with people, because, like Britt said, that's the most important thing to us. That's why we started this. So.
And it answers a question actually that we get a lot. People say, you know, should I send my appraiser comps, or should I meet the appraiser on inspection? And we always say, hey, if you got some comps that you think we should look at, we'd love to look at them. We're always appreciative of that. And we're always happy to meet anyone on inspection. And
yeah, at least I get to meet a live person.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I know.
Person.
And if you meet me at an inspection, forgive me, because I'm still going through like handshake or the DAP hug combination.
No, I don't think we're doing handshakes.
I'm not anymore. So I tried to do like the air dap. So anyways, if it's awkward at first, just know I want to hug and handshake.
Oh, I know. I'm a hugger too, so it's been horrible on me. Yeah, because I get it. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one. We all know this, but you are a husband-wife team. So, and this is something I want to know. How'd you meet? Where'd you meet?
This is
a cute story. It's got to be adorable.
Yeah, it is. At the beginning, it's not going to sound that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was when I was still a patrol officer. I was working the midnight beat in Old Town Alexandria. So if you've ever been to Old Town Alexandria, King Street, the strip of bars, that was my beat. like fights all the time, and it was a rough crowd that I rolled with on my squad. So so I got a call at like maybe 11:30. My friend had marked out at a bar at the bottom of King Street. Whatever it was, I just came by to check on him.
It was mostly a restaurant than a bar.
Until 11, yes, it is a restaurant.
Important to differentiate that because I was at this said location.
Okay.
Yeah, it was early on in the bar hours, but Brittany was there evangelizing. In truth, she was there with like 15 of her cousins, but it was a bar no less. Let's call a spade a spade. So I pull up in the front, and my partner, had been putting a girl into the back of an ambulance who had split her head open. I know it's going to sound bad in the beginning, I said. Britt apparently saw me from inside the bar through the glass. And well, I guess you can tell the rest.
Yeah, well, I was inside and it was all glass, and I just saw this cop show up, and I just thought to myself, oh my goodness, he is so handsome. So I immediately ran outside, and I was, trying to just, anything that I could do to get his attention. But he was completely committed to his job, to his task at hand, and helping this, this poor woman that had gotten hurt. And
well, I should say frequently at the times the bars were in session, when the police would be out front, pretty girls would come out and want to take pictures with the police. And at first I was like, okay, ma'am, like, I mean, it's just the truth.
Well, anyways, I never saw him even look my direction, but when he did get back in his cruiser and he drove away, and I said, oh, well, there goes my husband, my shot. And the bouncer heard me, and he said, oh, you like my friend? And I said, maybe. And he's like, next time you come in, I'll text him. Because, of course, all the bouncers knew all the cops. Sure. So the next time I came in, he arranged a text message meeting. And that's how I came to know Officer Chris. That's how he was programmed in my phone until, I think, a week after we got married. I was like, all right.
Guess he's not Officer Chris anymore. Yeah. That's, oh my gosh, that is a great
my first text to her was, hey. Yeah, I was in a phase of my life, I was in my early 20s.
Well, fortunately, she saw the potential in you, because you seem to have.
Yeah.
Well, no, she ignored me for 3 months, actually.
Okay.
We're getting into the weeds now.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny when you're dating a police officer, because there were times where I would be, I was young and single, and I was driving around Old Town. I had a white convertible back then. This was before the minivan and the 4 children that we were with. But I'd be driving around town, and I just boop, 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 boop. I'd see the lights, and I'd be like, oh, kind of excited. I get to see Chris as a surprise. And I remember pulling over, and I was like, hoo-hoo. And then the big bright light went on, like, what do you call that?
The spotlight.
Yeah, the spotlight. And I was like, oh, that was when I realized, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is Chris.
Uh-oh.
Thank goodness it was him, but
keep her in check.
Yeah, well, somebody had to.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's really how all this started.
And then on our first date, she thought I was too skinny, because when she first saw me, I was wearing the vest. And then at the time, I was still fighting MMA. So I weighed 170 pounds. I weigh 200 pounds now. So
okay.
When she saw me, she was like,
yeah,
I didn't look so, a little stringy.
Mm-hmm. So I put some weight on him since then.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Next, what are some of your favorite parts about being an appraisal team?
Gosh, we have a lot of favorite parts. I think
the best part is, let's cut you off.
Yep. Go ahead.
Obviously, you guys now know our backgrounds. And just being an appraisal team, I would say even just a real estate team, like in this industry, like we're just, it's something that's ours. All the hard work that we put in, all the hours. I mean, I work a lot more now than I ever have, but it's ours. It's my time. It's for us. It's for our business, our family. our circle, our island, as you say, our island of friends. And that's what we work for. That's what our time's for. And that's my favorite part about it.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it's great to have that independence when you work for yourself.
Abby.
We have a little.
Yep. Oh, that's all right. That's the way it is today.
Right. Well, it's the perks of working from home, you know,
Yes.
it's the perk and the challenge.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But I know that definitely there's a benefit of the independence of when you work for yourself. You get to, you know, plan around your family schedule, take vacation when you'd like to.
Yeah.
Also, you know, the struggles of maybe not being able to take vacation when you'd like to.
Yeah.
And everything that comes with working for yourself. But, you know, we came from a family of small business owners and especially as appraisers also in our family line too. So we've kind of grown up with understanding the pros and the cons that come with the business. And, you know, I know something that if Chris was here too, probably something that we really most enjoy is shedding light on the industry.
Mhm.
It's really fun experience for us to be able to kind of take this veil of mystery off the appraisal profession. Maybe it comes from our backgrounds that it's something that we both enjoy really doing. Whether it's through the classes that we're teaching or, you know, we do a lot of stuff through media. We've really been exploring TikTok this year. We've been having a lot of fun with that. Making little videos, you know, doing little things that just kind of help people understand a little bit more about the profession and just having fun with it. You know, Chris made the joke. He said, appraisers have been in quarantine forever. You know, I don't know why any appraiser would be surprised, would feel like any of this is different, you know? But you know, that's been just something I was just saying about how we've really been enjoying bringing light to the industry and welcome back.
Yeah.
Bringing light to the industry and teaching people, taking off the veil and just helping people understand, you know, what appraisers do.
Yep.
And things like that.
Yeah, I mean, the more you guys know about my job and the more I learn about what you guys do, you know, the agents and the LOs, it just makes we're all better for it. So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I get so many questions about my profession that just seem like should be common knowledge in the industry, you know. So yeah, that's our mission. Yeah.
The better that we figure that the better our business is, the better your guys is. We're all in this together.
Absolutely.
The better we're all doing, the better we're all doing.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So I could probably answer this next one, but I want to hear what you have to say about it. What sets you apart?
You want to take this one?
Yeah, so I think we kind of already touched on it, but just to kind of elaborate, like what makes us different. Sometimes we not get criticized, but sometimes we have to explain to people in our profession, when we build relationships with agents and loan officers and we reach out, we try to communicate with each other. In our industry, there are some that kind of feel like, well, the appraiser should always be completely doesn't speak to anyone or communicate with anybody. And that's how a lot of people in our profession have kind of hidden behind that, I think. So for us, we look at it in a different way. You know, you say, you know, we're friends. You know, we communicate frequently. Yep. If I had an appraisal and it was one of your deals, and let's just say it came in $15,000 too low, because we've built that relationship, it's no more I'm questioning your professional ability and you're questioning my professional ability on this difference in value. Now we have a relationship. We trust each other.
Yeah.
And that's what I think really sets us apart. It's not about, you know, oh, I'm always going to make sure these deals go through because I'm best friends with these people. I want to build a relationship. That way they say, okay, you know what, Chris, I trust you. I trust what you're saying. And vice versa. If I miss something, I can say, well, Trish, I trust you. If that's what you're telling me, I trust you. And I know that's what we feel like we strive to make us different. Yeah, that's what we focus on.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say. It's all about relationships. I don't know, and I know that there are a few out there because I've heard people talking about them, but I have never had any sort of a relationship with a different appraiser. Any of the appraisers that like the banks call in for you know, listings and things that I've had. I mean, I've been there and they've been personable enough, but it's not been the same. You know, they didn't seem to be interested in developing any sort of relationship. So
Sure.
They weren't like Chris Perry.
not at all. Not even a little bit.
Well, there are some really great appraisers out there.
There are, and I know that there are others that are, you know, that develop relationships with a lot of folks too. I just haven't experienced it.
Oh, well, thank you. And to be really open about it, you know, coming from my background, you know, for 5 years as a police officer, I was a homicide detective, and you know, it's a nasty environment. You know, I don't have to sugarcoat it. So for me, it's been growing this business and growing it with these amazing people that I've met. I'm committed to surrounding myself with just positive people, you know, who uplift me, who challenge me to be better. And yeah, we found it here in the community. And for me, it's been therapeutic. I mean, I absolutely love it.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
All right, really quickly, that was 4 questions. And we could stop here, but I have one question, and if you can answer it just briefly, because I know as an agent, I've been in some really interesting places. What's the weirdest place you've ever appraised?
Oh boy.
Had any strange experiences?
Like creepy ones?
Or anything that's like not go in, appraise house and leave.
Okay. So I've done some houses that were so creepy, I didn't want to go in them by myself, if I must admit.
Wow, that's got to be creepy.
Yeah.
If the homicide detective won't go in.
Yeah. One in particular was on the Eastern Shore. It looked like, I mean, you couldn't have designed a better horror film house.
Oh.
It was like in the middle of a field. The field was clear, but then there's just trees around it. No driveway. You went through a field to get there. It was built in the 1700s. It was beautiful architecture, crazy creepy. Luckily the agent happened to meet me there, and you know,
did they hold your hand?
No, I just let her go in first.
Oh. After you.
Yeah. Now, as a detective, I saw some very interesting ones, but they're not fun ones. I also have happened on one occasion. Now, whenever I do an appraisal, I always ask, is anyone else here? Do they know I'm here? Because I had one, an elderly lady who didn't know I was coming upstairs, who was getting dressed in her bedroom when I came in to take a picture. That was awkward.
That's awkward.
That happened.
Hear one of the kids crying.
So yeah, that happened. Let's see. I've been bitten by 3 dogs. Yeah, you know, it's just funny. They kind of all blend in together now. Like, yeah,
they do. But there's always 1 or 2 that stand out. I know that. I knew you wouldn't let me down on that question. So that's 5 things about 2 of my favorite people.
Oh, awesome.
I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, even though Britt has stepped away. I know there was a child crying, and that's the beauty and the challenge of working from home. I know mine's old enough that she doesn't normally cry while I'm busy, but you never know. So stuff happens, even at 10. So yeah. I have thoroughly enjoyed the time. We spent a little bit longer today than I normally do, but it was worth every moment.
Yeah, we had 2 people to talk to, so.
Yeah, you don't live in my house. I want to talk to you forever.
Oh, I know. I can't wait to see you again one day.
Yeah, I know. We can't wait to see you either. So you guys have a fabulous week. And I will put Chris and Britt's contact information in the posts so that you can contact them directly. Or if you'd like an introduction, you can contact me, and I'll make sure that you get to know them.
Yeah, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, CMP Appraisals. We're always putting out information for you guys. Just because anytime I get a good question from an agent, I always try to make a video about it or at least post about it. That way I can just kind of spread it to everybody.
Yeah, I love that. That's excellent. All right. Well, thanks so much for your time, and we will see you soon.
All right, Trish. We love you guys. See you soon.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.